Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the MyTarot morning reflection, our daily inventory. Chance to check in with the universe, just see how the heck we're doing for the day. Evening, afternoon, weekend. Good morning, Jenny. Let me see. Oh, I haven't even really had a chance to look outside to admire the sun. So, and it is a Tuesday. So I hope everybody had that amazing day yesterday. As we sit here with the sun singing and the birds shining. Hopefully it doesn't get too hot and go nuts with that temperature today. But now's our chance to just sit here and actually listen to the cards like they're the sounds of the ocean. Oh, man. So, how are you, Angelina? Good morning. So, I am glad to say I have nothing special going on. Man. Just had fun playing guitar last night, Jenny. Singing. Who was it? Oh, over the weekend, Jenny, somebody was saying that they knew you. Oh, how was it that they knew you? Because I think you played guitar. Who was it? I've forgotten. This weekend was nuts. But somebody who actually knew you and had, I think it was their significant other, had played guitar. And why did I blank out on that until just this moment? Probably because I was reading tarot and all that wonderful stuff. I'll remember who it was. So anyway, welcome, MyTarot morning reflection, daily inventory, chance to check in with the universe, listening to the cards like they're the sounds of the ocean, and checking in with where my feet are. Where our feet are. Mine are flat on the floor, and I'm remembering to roll the ankles. And then butt doing the kitty dance and checking in with the shoulder meter. And then rolling the neck. Taking the breath and feeling that light switch so that it's time to check in with the universe. Yes, that's what it was. I was talking to, who was telling me about it? Was it her husband? I mean, his, I think Meg, a friend of mine, Meg, was telling me about it. Why am I, on weekends when I'm reading tarot, I really do, just like now where I have that light switch and it goes off, I totally disassociate. So that's the wrong time for me to try and remember something. I'll ask Mina. She'll remember. So, the didgeridoo guy. I love the fact that in my life, conversations involve saying things like the didgeridoo guy. It was. I'm trying to remember who I was talking to about that. Was I talking to her? No. It wasn't her I was talking. I'll figure it out. So, but taking that extra breath as I feel that light switch, I'll find out and I will remember. Now, what I'm going to do now, though, is I'm going to make our 3 stacks. Each one a different thread going out to the universe. It's like each one's a different thought or idea. And if we believe in the multiverse, it's as if this stack will lead down one path, and this conversation will lead down a totally different path from this one. And the question is, which stack would we like to choose? And today, let's go for the center one, or what I like to think of as what's right at the heart. Good morning, Maureen. I hope everything is going absolutely amazing for you. So I'm going to do our 3 and 1. And yes, I think it was Luce. She's seen your paintings. I think it was Luce who owns Brand Art Yoga who was telling me about it, because it is such a small world. So I'm going to flip each one of these over one at a time, like we're reading the pages of a book. And the exciting part of what that first card is going to be. You know, when we start learning tarot, one of the hard things is that the books give us generally one meaning. But when we flip a card over, we don't really know what that meaning is going to be until we see it in perspective. It's just like life. Life hands us something good, bad, or indifferent. But until we can actually pull back and see a perspective. So with cups, cups are our feelings, our emotions, our spirituality, the element of water. When we have the Seven of Cups, because of that desire to go from 1 to 10, to move through in this wonderful linear kind of, I have a path, I have a direction, this is where I want to go. When we get to 7, it's so close to 10. We've gone through the trials of the 5s. We've gone through the starting and finding out new, especially if it's like a spiritual, path we start, or whatever that might be, or something that just we think is going to lead us to happiness. So the 7 of Cups, this is about one of the most ungrounded cards in the deck. Because when we get to the 7 of Cups, here we see them up in the air, and we can see, as we stare into the clouds, there's this person here for a relationship, there's a home here. We start speculating about a laurel wreath and what happens every 7 is when we are kind of like distracted. We're not where we want to be, but we can be distracted because maybe things aren't going the way we want. So as we walk through our path in life, sometimes it's easy to get distracted, and we stare so long at the sky, at the things that we want, sometimes we forget that we may not even be touching the ground. And this card is about a reminder that maybe if things aren't going the way we want, or even if they are, sometimes we go to the point where it's like we don't, we kind of take things for granted with what we do have. So let's see what the next card is. It's the Fool. So with the Fool can once again go in a couple different directions. But again, if we're doing the 7 of Cups and we're just kind of staring up, and it's like we may be wishing more than doing sometimes. So, of course, we need to see what the Fool is walking to. But this is almost like a wishing more than doing. Because the Fool, here we see the Fool's about to just walk off this cliff. But he's so busy looking at, oh, is that a cloud shaped like a butterfly? It's like, oh, or is that shaped like, the house that I wish I had, or shoulda, woulda, couldas, and he's just going to keep walking. So this is kind of like about being distracted, but he's still staring at another card. And it's the 3 of Swords. So swords are the element of air. There are thoughts, our ideas, and sometimes our anxiety. One sword is great. You have an idea, you're walking on, you have things that you want to do, things that you want to accomplish. It could be, things that are going to bring us joy and happiness. And 2 means that we've progressed forward. And then we think things are going right, and then that 3rd sword comes in. And that 3rd sword is sometimes where we have choices to make with the Two of Swords. And if we don't make that choice, sometimes things make that choice for us. Or sometimes we don't see the obvious and we walk off that cliff. So today, as we go through our spiritual path, or if we're walking, we have a goal, and it's not, can I carry this much stuff, or can I build this, or can I do this project? It's the feelings that we get behind the projects. It's the feelings that we get behind taking an action and doing something that we wanted to do. And then sometimes we get distracted, disillusioned. Somebody pulls out in front of us in traffic. It's the things that kind of distract us from where we want to go. And then we wake up and we realize that maybe we didn't see what we needed to see. Maybe we come back later and say, you know what, I knew it, I just wasn't paying attention to it. So, as we're walking along this path and we get distracted by the shoulda, woulda, couldas, we get distracted by the F-onlys, or we get distracted by, ooh, it's my phone, and I'm going to sit here for an hour instead of actually being where I need to be on time. It's all the actions of the fool, and the fool's staring right at the Three of Swords. So we even know when we're taking these actions that it's like, you know what, I probably should be doing something else. But let's see what the advice card is. Of course, it's the King of Swords. So look at this King of Swords. Is he not talking to the fool? So kings are the element of air, swords are the element of air. Kings and swords, if we're talking about air, are our thoughts, our ideas, and sometimes our anxieties, right? So sometimes we need to get our heads out of the clouds, which I love my head being up there. I mean, I'm an artist, I write, I sing, half of my life is spent in the clouds, but then I have to get up in the morning to go make the money so I can afford to sing and play and do all that other stuff. But if we have that reminder of the ultimate adulting card, because again, King of Swords, it's not about our feelings, it's not about our spirituality, it's not our emotions and how do I feel. It's about, you know what? I need to put the phone down. I need to go get dressed, brush my teeth. Instead of taking time doing something else, have a breakfast or anything else during the day that might be distracting us from where we ultimately would like to go. So today, it's about avoiding the distractions in life that keep us from doing what we would ultimately fulfill our goals. So it's about staying grounded and avoiding distractions. Which is probably a good thing because, again, I was out last night playing guitar and doing all this other stuff, had a good time, and talking about not wanting to get up this morning. So, with that, I hope everybody does have an amazing day. And I hope everybody has, if it's evening where you are, the amazing evening or afternoon. And I'm going to say thank you, and I will be back here again tomorrow. Take care, y'all.
Stars in the sky, cards in my hand, searching for signs, lost in the sand. Whispers of fate, echoes of dreams in the dark slate. Nothing's as it seems. Flip the cards, turn around. Mysteries we have found. In the shadows we dance. Take a chance, take a chance. Ghostly figures, guiding light. Readers and seekers in the night. Hopes and fears, written in gold. Truth appears as stories unfold. Flip the card.